Greetings and salutations. This is Becca,
And I'm Cass.
and welcome to Act 4. Today, let's talk about rom-coms. You know, those movies that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside while also making you laugh your hearts out. Well, guess what? Today, we're talking about the latest must watch rom-com that everyone is mostly talking about. The name is Anyone But You. Are you ready, Cass?
Yes.
So let's go. This initial segment focuses on our opinions and we'll begin by summarizing the movie and then provide our thoughts on it. Basically, the movie is about Bea and Ben that had an incredible date, and as they expected to forget about each other because a series of events happened, they actually cross path at the wedding of two people that both of them know. And from there, they have to pretend that they're dating, and plenty of stuff happens. So the movie is directed by Will Glock, and the cast includes Sydney Sweeney as Bea, Glenn Powell as Ben, and a bunch of other wonderful actors. So, Kes, do you have any initial thoughts on the movie?
I am not a big fan of romantic comedies. Not to say that I don't watch any.
How dare you? I
I
love
know,
rom
I
coms.
know, I know. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. To me, they feel kind of all the same. And personally, I think anyone but you did follow like the rom-com formula, but there
Mm-hmm.
were a few aspects to it that I feel like were very refreshing and
Mm-hmm.
made it more enjoyable for me. For
Mm-hmm.
instance, how some of it was was a little cringy that it was really good.
It was so cringy sometimes that it was good. I agree. One of the points that I
Yes.
wrote down was that.
Especially sometimes they were trying to force comedy, or just
Mm-hmm.
maybe some of the lines weren't, the delivery or just the way they were written weren't like but they were
Mm-hmm.
made to be funny. And then there were
Mm-hmm.
other moments where it was just so like funny in general
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
without
yeah.
like, yeah,
The cringy part. Yeah, I agree.
exactly.
I agree.
That's what I
It,
liked
it
about
was
it.
it was like that for me too. I think like part of it in the beginning, I was like, oh, that's a bit cringe,
Yeah.
but the cringe part was what made the things that were cringy funny. So
Exactly.
I completely agree. But the whole thing about them hating each other started because
Oh,
they had a big misunderstanding. Like,
it's
why didn't couldn't they just communicate? It wasn't hard.
Oh boy. And for me, the reason I feel like they were writing the movie, they were in the writing
Mm-hmm.
room making it, and they were like, "Oh snap. Wait, we need a reason
Mm-hmm.
for them to hate themselves. Okay,
Yeah.
quick, quick, quick. What do we need? All right, this." To me it was just so silly. It made no sense. Like, this guy that you talked to like once, and you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna walk out," and then you hate them just because they walk out, and then when you come back, you don't try to explain or anything. You just you just take the words for what they were like. To me, it's
Yeah.
just so silly. It
Yeah,
was the silliest thing ever.
they both like misunderstood each other, and instead
Yeah.
of just communicating they're like, oh, I hate this person. But it's easier to just like go and say, I didn't appreciate the fact that you left early
Yeah.
without saying anything, or I didn't appreciate the fact that I heard you talking weirdly with your
Yes.
friend and I didn't like that. You know, a lot of like the big plot of like hating each other would have been avoided if they had communicated.
And
um
honestly, I feel like if they wanted to keep it, they could have, but they should have made a reason for why he was so offended that she left. You
mhm,
know, to me, because me personally, that's what I was waiting for. I was
mhm,
waiting for him to explain why he was so mad at her for leaving. But
mhm.
no, he was just being a big child boy.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Yeah, he never said why it was like it pissed him off or something. He never said why he didn't like it. That's true. I think their both of their personalities have like flaws that were really 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 important in the movie. Both
Mm.
of them were like too stubborn for their own good.
But I did like one thing about me with movies, if the movie looks good,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be up there in my rating. And
Mm-hmm.
it looked fantastic. I
Mm-hmm.
love the colors, love like the
Mm-hmm.
soft like what's it called? Pastel vibes to it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like the clothes and everything, the
Mm-hmm.
scenery. To me, it was really good, and because of that, it ranked higher.
Mm-hmm.
um and also some of the, I don't know, it's just something that I noticed that I just want to say. At like
Mm-hmm.
some point when he was taking his clothes off because of the spider, there's a scene where she was actually laughing, like in the it, to me it's just the most hilarious thing ever,
Yeah.
because she's supposed to be panicking and she's laughing. And that's a funny scene. It just
Yeah.
shows, goes to show.
Yeah, but I think it's because also Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell had a lot of chemistry while recording the like
Yes,
filming the
I
movie, not
really,
recording. So I think part of it was just them like getting on a lot. Wow.
yeah, honestly, like I said, I don't really watch a lot of rom-coms, but I think in
Mm-hmm.
general, when two people, whether they're supposed to be friends, love interest, or whatever, when they
Mm-hmm.
have great chemistry, I think it just automatically makes it more entertaining to watch.
Yeah,
Whether
for
they're like,
sure.
whether they're like enemies, whether they're supposed to like each other,
Mm-hmm.
just their dynamic with each other was perfect. They went well
Mm-hmm.
as one, for
Mm-hmm.
me personally.
Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. I think the only thing that I didn't really like with the way that they shot some, but not necessarily the scenes, but like the wardrobe, especially
Mm-hmm.
Bea's swimsuit.
Yeah.
Some of her swimsuits, I think, were not really flattering to Sydney Sweeney, so I think they could have like
Oh.
probably found a better palette for her, or maybe it's because the character Bea, but that was the type of like clothes she would wear. But when I was watching
Mm-hmm.
the movie, I was like, I don't know, they could probably have done something for that type of wardrobe. But like you, the backgrounds in Australia was amazing. The scenes were awesome. The scenery was good. And I also like the sense of humor, but because we got to see
Yes.
like a lot of different people being like a bit like a comedy relief as well. So I mean, it is a rom com, so it makes sense. But
Yeah. Yeah, it really did follow the rom-com formula really well.
mm-hmm.
But in in like early 2010s rom-com, not like
Yeah.
recent rom-coms. To me, that's the vibe that I was getting, and I think that's why I personally enjoyed it more than I thought that I would.
Mm-hmm.
Um because maybe it's because of the things that I see and watch.
Mm-hmm.
Some movies right now, to me, they don't like have that little thing, even if it's like they just try to make every single plot like bigger than the other.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was just a simple, let's go to a wedding, vibe out, and pretend we're
Yeah.
together. Something that
Yeah.
you see back in the day, like in
Mm-hmm.
like, what's a rom-com? I, a name. I need a
There are
rom-com
a
with
lot
a
of
name.
rom coms. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's
But it's
where,
not the same movie, but
yes.
it is a
Mm-hmm.
rom com.
Of yeah. I'm just saying, the good simple energy vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. Because it's like a cheesy movie. It's like cheesy, over the top,
Exactly.
but it's fun, It's made to be fun. So yeah, the characters for me were good. Like we said, the scenery, the songs. The songs, I have one
Oh,
song that's just stuck in my head. It's the one you were
unwritten.
singing. Yes, exactly. You were singing before we started filming.
Unwritten on your lips. I don't know. I don't I don't know if it was meant to mean something, but
Mm-hmm.
I just like the fact that they kept using that specific song.
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe there's a lyric about it, or like something that has to do with either, I think it's Shakespeare's like thingy, or like the movie in
Mm-hmm.
itself. But I just loved it. I love when
Yeah.
there's like that little thing that you just remember. Now every time I'm gonna hear the song, that's what I'm gonna think
You're
about.
gonna think about the
Anyone
movie.
but you.
Yes.
Yes. And I also love the outtakes at the end where they were all singing it. I love it. Way
Yeah, that's
back,
good.
BTS's, like behind the scenes,
behind the
bring
scenes.
them back. I
Because they
want to
looked
see the
happy.
joy.
They looked happy.
Exactly.
They looked good. They looked like they were enjoying the whole shebang thing. Like,
Exactly. Bring back the behind the scenes cut after a movie. I don't care
Yeah.
about the end credits. I want to
Yeah, yeah,
see
yeah.
the behind the scenes. All right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to you all directors and all.